I like to start with an image or a theme for the class. And what I was thinking of today is inspired by just a cool thing I saw on a walk recently with some of these windy afternoons that we've been getting. Sometimes there's this thing that will happen where you'll get a bird that's really, really playful, and they figure out just the right amount of flapping and just the right air currents to be on, such that they can pretty much just kind of glide with the wind. They just get to flap every once in a while just to make sure they're in the right spot, but more or less you watch them and it's like they're just staying still, hovering in the air, and it looks just effortless. And so that can be sometimes what can happen when we learn to work with the wind rather than fight against it. So sometimes life throws adversities and wind and crazy weather at us, metaphorically. And so today's class, we're imagining we're like that bird. We'll do different stretches, kind of like how in yoga, eagle's pose will stretch through the shoulder area by pulling things nice and compressed. But it helps you so that when you then spread your wings, you feel more open, more free, and in this case, more able to glide because the channels of energy inside of our body feel just a little bit less clogged. So that's the image, that bird just gliding freely. It's almost playful. And we get to that spot through just the beautiful opening, the stretches, the gentle work that we do. And so with that image of the bird to lead us on, let's begin with some nice stretches. Let the arms stretch all the way to that wall behind you. Start to wiggle the shoulders over to the right. And shoulders over to the left. Take that a few times, starting to wake up those side ribs. Open up the shoulders very gently. Take 2 more to each direction. Perhaps even beginning to synchronize breath with the movements. Beautiful. So back to the center. The right knee comes into chest. Hug around that knee. This gives us space to start opening the hip, but also just do some nice little ankle rolls for that right foot. Good. Leg extend up to sky. Grab on. Help that hamstring out. Nice inhale. Easy exhale. Hook this right heel to the back of the left side of the fabric, like a pigeon pose. You're hooking it all the way back end where the ears are. If you're ever confused, you can peek at neighbors, but slide that shin in. Help that right hip get its first little opener. Breath is still flowing freely. So another huge breath, let it flow in and out. Good, free out this right leg, perhaps by extending it up, a little stretch, and then drop it down. From there, left knee into the chest, hug around that knee, maybe some ankle rolls. Good, leg starts to extend up to sky. Help the hamstring. Try to extend as long as possible. One more breath, let it flow in and out. Good. So left heel hooks to the back of right, slide the shin in. Keep the breathing flowing deep into belly space. For me, that's that kind of effortless gliding. It's like the air that goes under that bird's wings is the breath flowing into us. Keep in full each breath. So one more deep cycle all the way down to belly space. With that nice exhale, free this leg out. Maybe through an extension before dropping. We're gonna sit up just enough to slide the fabric down to the area under armpit space. And then we're taking eagle's arms. So right elbow goes under left elbow. Try to wind the palms around. And then leaning the head backwards, let the fingertips tilt down toward the ground. Just continue to sink down as far as feels good for the shoulders. Gentle shoulder opening. Lift the head up, keep the arms wound. Legs lift into kind of like a boat pose. What we're gonna do 5 times is crunch the knees to touch the elbows and then legs extend out. And come back in, 4. And inhale. 3. The mental quality here is still like gliding here. 2. 1. As you drop the legs down there, free up the fabric, open the arms. Relax, just an easy spread, open shape, back bend. Good, and then hands reach up, grab the fabric. Head is up, get the legs back inside for second side. Left elbow winds under right. And then start to lean backwards, fingertips try to tilt down, just relaxing further and further to the ground. Good. So lift the head up, legs float, crunches, touch the legs in, 5, and extend out. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Release the twist of the arms, drop the legs down. If you'd like the fabric to slide a little bit further down to the waist, that's fine. Relax backwards, either clasp the hands behind your back and let the arms drop down, or try to grab onto each ankle. Take 3 more breaths right there. Good. Hands grab onto the fabric. We're rising up. Floating child for just a moment. Hug the elbows, shoulders relax forward. Sitting up tall, hands clasped behind the back. Bring the hands over to right hip or right waist. And then right ear drops over right shoulder. Good. Head floats up. Hands over to left hip or left waist. Left ear to left shoulder. Good. Head back up. Hands on the inside. Let the hands go around the right foot. Lean back just a little bit to kind of counterbalance the weight of the leg, trying to extend it upward. If the full extension of the leg is not really happening today, you can walk the hand down to the ankle or the calf instead. Let there be kind of two things going on, the leg trying to extend and the arm strength trying to lift the leg up. Good. So then from here, as we release this right leg, the right knee crosses on top of the left knee, like the eagle's pose. Maybe even the toes wind around the calf. You're bunching up your fabric to the right. And then your right arm opens up to the back wall, or it can circle around the back side of the head. Taking a nice spinal twist. What I'll do with the left leg is kind of push my left leg into the right leg, so that helps the IT band of that right leg just a little bit more with the stretch. And feel how nice it is how eagle's pose makes us kind of compress, but then when we spread back open, things will be a little bit more flexible than before. So another beautiful inhale. Exhale, release. Unwind the legs, left leg comes up. Grab onto foot or ankle, try to find the extension of the leg up. So nice inhale. Exhale, release, left thigh crosses over, maybe the toes wind around, grab the fabric to the left. Left arm stretches to the back wall or circles around the head. And remember, maybe the right knee is pushing into that left leg, just to help the stretch a little bit more. If that helps, take it, if not, leave it. Nice deep inhale. Exhale. Unwind, torsos forward, legs are back to normal. And take a boat pose from here. So balancing on the hips, the knees lift up. The arms can grab on or float, your choice. Let's let the legs do some bicycles. So one leg circles and then the other. You choose the speed. Just remember, keep on breathing. That breath, even as things get a little more intense like this, the breath is what helps calm us down. It's like we're gliding rather than working against the wind. So it's okay if your pace is different than mine, but I'll do a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, relax the knees down. We're gonna head into a nice vampire pose. So we start off with finding the fabric that's behind us. That back edge is covering the shoulders like a full cap sleeve. You want it to kind of wind just around the front part of the shoulders. Not too much excess though. So any excess you're taking with your elbows down into your waist and then laying back. So it's just enough to cover it once. From there, all that excess that's at the waist needs to go down to the feet. So step the feet in, lift up the hips, and then send the excess fabric down to your legs. Yeah, those that know it, by the way, you're free to go into it. Good. Okay, so all the excess is down to the legs. The legs are inside for this moment. Hands reach up high, grabbing left and right. And then pike the feet up. The feet can be inside or outside the fabric. So the feet are in the middle. They're pressing outward into the fabric. So then from there, by that press, you're able to engage your core and slide your way all the way upside down. So I like to do my disclaimer with inversions. You don't have to stay upside down as long as anybody else. So sometimes we get dizzy, or you just know that that's not how you want to be very long. A lot of people do come to Aerial Class for this chance to be upside down. So I'll give you plenty of time, but don't feel pressure to stay as long as anybody else, especially if you start to feel anything like dizziness or just anything that doesn't feel quite as in the equilibrium state, then just know you're welcome to go back down. And even if you go down, you can go back up again. It's just a little break sometimes is all it takes while we're building up to it at the beginning. Good. So by about this point, we've got more than half of the class out of the inverting. So if you're still upside down, take your last couple of breaths, just easy, 3 or 4 good cycles. And you're welcome to lay back like this little mini Shavasana. What we're doing is giving our head and our body enough time to feel kind of back to normal again from being upside down. And what you'll do when you feel like you could move on, you're in a pretty good spot. At that point, you'll help me know that you're doing good by sitting back up. Beautiful. So let's give it 2 or 3 more breaths. Floating child, hug the elbows behind, relax forward. That can help to stretch some of those low back muscles. Even relaxing the weight of the head forward can stretch the neck. So one more deep inhale. Nice exhale. Sitting up. So 2 ways to get out. Option 1, just grab on and then lift yourself up and forward. Option 2, a tight, tight grip. You lift the legs up and then continue to flip all the way back behind. Good work. So fabric comes up right up to the shoulder blade area. And then from here, lean back to take all the slack out. We're walking ourselves back up under thumb line. And give your spine just a couple of breaths to let the hips hang. So know that this is a nice restful spot you can always come to if you need a little bit of a break, especially during time when other people are doing inverting. So this is one of our options. This just helps to pull the spine really long, decompressing it from just what gravity does to us all day, every day. Good. So now leaning back just a little bit, take your hands and cross them in front of you. This gives us something we can kind of push off with. And so from there, what we're gonna do, one knee at a time, is lift the right knee, and then just the other one hops for a brief moment, and then lift left knee. Little tiny pulses, right? And then left, the other one just does a hop. Keep breathing. And 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and 1. Good. Relaxing the feet down, free out the arms. Make sure you're still comfortable. If you need to readjust under the shoulder blades, that's fine. Right ankle comes up to left thigh, and then relax the weight of the hips back down. Even the knee can rotate open, if that feels good. We'll take a twist. So that right foot that's up, plant it all the way to the left side. But then your torso is trying to go to the right. Feel the breath quickly return back to an easy, slow breathing pattern. Good. Start to unwind the legs. Relax the hips back down as you take the left ankle up. Maybe even the knee drops open. Good. So left foot twists over to the right. Then torso tries to go to the left. Good. Gentle unwind. Straighten the legs back and let the arms open up or clasp behind your back and pull away. Beautiful. Torso back up, kind of like a normal shape. Bring the forearms to press into the fabric. Right leg floats. So if that tilts you to a weird spot, readjust where the left foot's holding you down. So right foot is here. Kick it up and down 5 times, as high as you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend both knees. Send the right foot behind you. Pick yourself up. We're in a nice lunge shape. So then from here, open the arms out, lean forward. Try to help let the hips sink as low as they can in that nice lunge. Straightening the front leg, it turns it into pyramid pose. Lean into that straight front leg. That calf is getting a nice stretch as well. Beautiful. So rising the torso up, reset the fabric under the shoulder blades, and then bend the knees. Just send both legs out in front. Now it's the right foot that's kind of like the grounded anchor. Left foot floats. So when you're ready, 5 times kick it high. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the both knees to send the left one back. And then we're in a nice lunge shape. Arms spread open. Lean forward as the hips try to drop low. Front leg straightens. Continue to lean over that nice straight leg. Good. So both knees bend. This time we're dropping softly down to kneel. So from the kneeling shape, we're going to let the hands come up It can either be grabbing or pressing kind of the palms, but we're dropping the hips forward, taking a nice back bend shape. Good, grab on to safely lift us up and out. Fabric comes out in front of us. So with the fabric, start by kind of hugging around the outside and then do one little wrap as the hand hooks on. So it's kind of like just a little safety measure for that wrist. So from here, lean all the way back and then lift the hips up until you feel a quad stretch. It's also a nice back bend shape. Good. Engage the arm strength to pull us up through the center. And then sit the hips onto the feet. And just let yourself relax forward. The elbows can be bent, the elbows can be straight. It's just whatever feels good for a moment. You could even kind of be taking a soft sway left and right. Good. So torso rises back up. Let's get the feet out from underneath us. We're sitting down. Taking up both toes here. The legs float. Maybe bend shape, maybe straight shape. Either way, we're doing little crunches. So if they're straight, we're lowering partway down and lifting up. If they're bent, you're extending out a bit and then crunching back in. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Set the feet down, spreading the legs out wide, and just kind of easy tilt forward. Rising upright, the feet plant in front of us. We're lifting up the hips and then trying to let the arms do 5 pull-ups. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk yourself backwards to stand. Beautiful. Free out the hands. Reset the grip on the inside. Walking up to that plumb line, let the upper body relax forward. So fingers can be as relaxed as needed, maybe even swaying a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. Watch out for neighbors. Soft bend to the knees, roll the spine up. Take the fabric into the hip bones. Take a couple of steps forward and start leaning into the fabric. From here, walk the hands up nice and high. So it's kind of like a shoulder stretch already. And then take a few steps backwards. Float the legs. That should prevent us from swinging too much. Good. So now scissor kicks, one leg lifts, one leg lowers, and then tap the other way. Tap, tap. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If your hips need a break, come out. Otherwise, just fold into a nice little hip hang. If you come out for a moment, you can always come back in. So you could hug around the shins. You could walk the hands forward and just relax the heart space down. Just a nice kind of back bend shoulder opener. You could also clasp hands behind the back. You've got lots of options here. Play around with whatever feels really helpful for the body. Again, remember my rule with inversions, don't feel like you have to stay as long as anybody else. It's just listening to your body, and that's the biggest thing I could ask for any student that comes to my class. If you're coming out before others, and remember you can always come in and out as you'd like, but if you're permanently out, take the fabric under shoulder blades again, either lay back or take that chair position that we were doing earlier. Yep, I love how you did that. Roll your head up, give it time. No dizzy passing out in this class. Good. So let's all start to head out if you're still upside down. We've got the fabric behind us. We're standing pretty much on our own, so feet toward the back. We're going to do a little bit of shoulder opening. So right arm crosses and then left. Stand up. As you lean forward, this will help to spread the arms to each direction. Just make sure you don't let the fabric actually slide off past the shoulders. Back, let the arms do a nice spread open. And relax back up. Now it's left arm crossing first and then right. Standing up, relax forward. Leaning back, circle the arms up and open. Good. Even let the head roll over to one shoulder and the other. Beautiful. So rising back up, come to stand right under plumb line. And this one Alicia might have to demo. Sometimes I can get it, sometimes not, but we're taking the fabric up to the shoulder area. There's these little loops off to each side, so dive the arms into the loop area. And then we're leaning forward. We'll take another step back to the under plumb line. And then the hands are trying to reach up and grab left and right sides. So then from here, the idea is that you bend your knees and you spring yourself up to be floating upside down. Good. We got a couple of examples on each side if you need to peek at what it looks like. If you're not quite getting there today, here, I'll help you just a moment. If you're not quite getting there, just practice the hop and that'll build the core. Good, Esther, just bring your feet back a hair to touch and that'll help you. Yeah, good job. Gotcha. Okay, so stand back up. So the fabric's on the neck, free up the arms. Just let it dangle naturally. And then just dive into the inside. That's it. And then when you lean, just grab it. Yeah, sometimes a step forward might help with that grip. Yeah, there you go. Good work, guys. Yep, you can always kind of capture it before you extend. So you feel that massage that happens on the shoulders. That's what this one's about. So if you need to come out for a moment, give it a little break. If you want to pop back up into it again, that's fine. Otherwise, just keep practicing just a little bit longer. When you're ready to be done for good eventually, just leave that easy wrap. Take kind of like a supported half forward fold. Good. Softly bend the knees and let the head have some time to slowly roll your way up. So then free the fabric out. We're gonna face to the center of the room, whatever way faces you there. Grab onto the fabric nice and wide. Step the feet nice and wide. Toes turning out 45-degree angles. You wanna be wide enough that when you squat down, the knees do not go past the toes. Good. So spine stacked. We're gonna take a couple of rounds, just pulsing down and straightening up. Good. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn the toes forward. Take a nice half forward fold. The hands can slide any amount toward one another. Good. Soft bend to the knees. Roll up. Feet come back underneath us. Right ankle into the fabric. So options here. Easier option is just slide down to lean closer to that hamstring. Second option, slide hands up. Take more of a splits forward. Know that you have control over the splits by just simply squeezing inner thighs together if you wish to come back. Beautiful. So weight comes back over standing leg. Bend this right leg out to the side. And then hands, I like to have it close to the shoulder area. Start to sink your weight forward. You can either rest the head through, that's kind of like a sleeping pigeon, or you can slide the hands up and take more of a back bend shape with it. So whatever feels better for the spine. Good, hips back over standing leg, and then spine rolls up. Straighten the leg back out. Grip for a moment, both hands on the left side, turn your standing toes to the left. And then just leave the right hand on the fabric. Left hand goes to the thigh, the left thigh, and start to slide down. If the hand goes all the way to the ground, maybe the second hand joins on the ground. You continue to sink any amount toward the side splits. So if your standing foot doesn't allow you to let the weight sink directly forward, readjust where that standing foot is. Good work. So we all end up with our feet on the, with our hands on the ground. So now start to pivot yourself toward the back of the mat. So one leg is inside. The other knee, this left knee softly goes to floor. And what we're gonna do is lift our left knee to float in that nice bent shape and then softly set it back down. So let's try to do that. 5, lift knee, softly set down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now, 2 options. Either sink your weight back. This is more of the hip flexor stretch, or swivel that left foot in for pigeon pose. So your choice between the 2. Good. So plant the hands. The left toes tuck, lift up the left knee, 3-legged dog. So that left heel, try to drop down to the ground for a little calf stretch. Then lift the right leg out of the fabric, shake it free, drop it to ground, downward dog. Walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands, forward fold. And use an inhale to rise, circle the arms up to sky, little back bend, hands down to heart. Good. So facing the fabric, left ankle in. Option 1 here was either slide down, or option 2, hands slide up, sink weight forward. Two more deep breaths into the belly. It's like we're gliding here. Good. Weight comes back over standing leg. The knee swivels out to the side. You got either the sleeping option, letting the head go through, or the hands slide up for the back bend option. Your choice. Sink some weight forward. Okay, so hips over the standing foot, front leg straightens back out, left hand grabs on right side, maybe right hand is there just to help balance as we pivot the standing toes to the right. Right hand ends up on right thigh, start to slide down. Maybe the hand works its way to floor. If so, maybe the second hand drops down. Readjust the standing foot if it's not quite right to just sink the weight forward. Good. So soft bend to the right knee. Pivot yourself to back of mat. Drop the right knee to floor. Okay, maybe we're picking the knee and the foot up, maybe just the knee, but either way, we're lifting up. 5. Softly down. 4. Keep breathing. The breath is like gliding. 3. 2. 1. Good. Either stay in this parallel position or swivel the ankle in. Either way, we're sinking the weight back. Coming up to the hands, tuck the right toes, lift up that right knee, drop that right heel down for a moment. A little half stretch. Lifting the left foot out, downward facing dog. Good, softly lower back to knees, face forward. So right hand grips the center of the fabric, and dropping to kneeling with the left hand. This right arm circles around to the sacral area, and then back up to crown of head and even leaning over. Good. So repeat that another 4. Circle back, and up and lean over. 3. 2. 1. Good. Rise up to switch. Left hand in, right hand to ground. Circle back, then up and over. 5. 4. For me, it's that press into the lean. That's where I really get the sensation. 3. 2. 1. Beautiful. So dropping the hand down, again, take downward facing dog. Hands to feet or feet to hands. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, hands down to heart. Beautiful. So standing in front of the fabric, we're gonna wind up with Vitruvian Man, and then you can play with the straddle back inversion if you'd like for the last few minutes. So Vitruvian Man starts off with the straddle back. So the hands are behind the fabric like a backpack. You're hooking the thumbs. The idea is keeping fabric across the sacrum. So it's kind of touching the top of the butt crack area. Don't let it rise from that spot. So then one foot steps a little bit back. We bend our knees to lean back. Don't let the fabric slip up. Tiptoe until you're under plumb line. And then as the hands go up, the feet have to hug all the way around the fabric. Good. So once you're here, the hands need to walk higher than where the feet are. So hug the feet, and then hands walk high. Good. You had it right the first time. Yeah. Okay. So once you're here, squeeze the knees into the middle. Good. So knees squeeze into the middle. Walk hands up, and then you're brought up to this Vitruvian Man. Good. So let's straighten our right leg to the right. Straighten your left leg to the left. Beautiful. Lots of massage going on. You can stay a little longer if you'd like. If you're ready to come out, you either go backwards where you came, or there's a flip. For the flip, you grip forward, thumbs down, and then bringing the knees close together, you flip and you land exactly as where we began. Yeah, going backwards for now is totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. So this is the last inversion of the day. Let yourself enjoy this inversion as long as it feels good. When you're ready to come out eventually, that's fine, but you can be here another full minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, however long you'd like. This is our last pose of the day as well. So coming out after recovery will eventually be our Shavasana. So no sense of rush, just know that that's kind of where we're headed for the last few minutes. So like I mentioned, no rush for those that are wanting to be upside down longer. This is your last inversion, so just enjoy it. When you're finished with your recovery, your head feels good, you'll either just lay on the ground for a grounded Shavasana today or come back inside like we started class, just getting a nice floating Shavasana laying back. Just shake out the fabric, take about half in your hands, and lay back. If you're on the ground, sometimes people like to put their feet into the fabric, so it's like a legs up the wall variation. Got options. Just find a beautiful, comfortable, peaceful spot. Let the deep breath start to flow when you're in Shavasana, still no rush. Just imagine that deep breath, nice and slow, nice and easy. Symbolic of that bird just getting to glide. We've done all the work. Parts of this class, we've been the wind. That crazy, hardworking aspect. Now, if nothing else, this is the time to glide. Feel the body alive. I can imagine that bird, it's like every little particle of it is tingling with excitement and just getting to glide. So that's where we're at. The body's feeling good. The energy level is feeling great. So here we just breathe and relax. You begin to deepen your inhales, your exhales. Introduce little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out in ways that feel really good. We'll take the next minute or so just to wiggle the body in helpful ways. So some options are stretching arms to the back wall, wiggling to the right and to the left. You're in the hammock. There's a nice fetal position option. You keep the body long, but then you roll onto one hip. So rolling over to the side. And then from there, you can curl in to a nice little ball. And then arc the spine back. It's almost like an exaggerated cat-cow, just waking up the vertebrae. I'll usually do 2 or 3 to one side and then 2 or 3 to the other side. If you're on the ground, just little stretches that feel good. You can take a figure 4 hip stretch. You can take a fetal position, whatever feels helpful. Sooner or later, when the body feels like it's in balance, everything's feeling good and aligned, we'll work our way up to a comfortable seated position. So with hands here at the heart, we bring to mind that image of that soaring bird. And we feel how at times in our class, we've been a little bit more tight, compressed, kind of like the eagle's pose in yoga. At other times, we've been expansive and stretched out. And we can feel how that nice contrast has allowed our body at this point to feel open, to feel awake, to feel alive. So with this kind of vitality, just this playfulness to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. Om. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.